make out your starting grid.
Well, the late models are gone. We don't get to feel the thunder, but you can listen along with us as the stock cars come screaming to life here at Lucas Oil Speedway. Another white puff of smoke out of the 21P of Wheatland's own Darren Phillips, and we are off and firing on all cylinders. Kansas City, Kansas, Rodney Schweitzer had the point for this one. He will lead the field around on lap number 1, and Shane, it has not taken Dean Willie very long to hunt the front. The Gator Graphics 68 started in the 5th position, and he has already fought his way around Will Garner and Mason Beck to be in P2 right now, and he may not wait till lap number 2 is over before he gets around the 70-46 of Schweitzer.
Okay, you know, at the beginning of this, I told you everything you were going to see. I told you were going to see pack racing. I told you were going to see
You're
3
like
wide.
Nostradamus.
I told you you were going to see 4 wide. I told you you were going to see leaning on one another and rubbing on one. It's happened in the first 2 laps. All of that happened.
2 laps and a good lap for Rodney Schweitzer, trying to get a sub 20-second lap time. He misses it by just a half a second that time, and Dean Willie says giddy up. He pulls that Gator Graphics 68 alongside, and it is a drag race down the back chute, and it's Dean Willie sliding up in front of him, and now the crossover is the Kansas City, Kansas driver tries to get back up alongside of him, but you'll have a new race leader with the 68 out in front by a nose.
Dean Willie, a winner back on April 7th. You see the fight for the lead, and then on deeper back, this is for 4th, 5th, and 6th, as Mason Beck about ready to lose the position to Brian White, who is working to the outside, and Dean Willie has lost the lead to Rodney Schweitzer, who grabs the top spot back, and now William Garner is in that in the number 7.
Rodney Schweitzer, the winner of heat race number 2, in the battle further on back. The Whites, Brian and Rob, father and son, just about to split Mason Beck, your midseason points champion, and Brian will pull alongside him, try to get a run as they work their way through 1 and 2. Psycho Ed Griggs in the Crump Construction 47 out in front of them. And the Whites, the 5 and the 41 now, trying to put Beck back a little bit further in the pack, and they do so as Dad gets around him, rolls across the nose of the 0. And the 41 and the 5, it's son leading the father this time around, as this track is starting to show some character.
So we have been trying to come up with a name for this group from Lebanon. We've come up with Lebanon Legion. That really didn't stick. The Lebanon Mafia. Too many other groups go by that name.
Jamesport Mafia. Yeah, there are a lot of those.
We've come up with the Bloodline, and that is a wrestling reference. The car that's running 3rd right now, that number 7, is like a son to Rob White. And then Rob and his son, Brian, both run in this division. There is another son, Jacob, who runs in a pure stock. All 3 Whites won last week. Brian was able to win over at Dallas County. Rob got the win here at Lucas Oil Speedway. Jacob, a winner as well. So the Whites went 3 wins last week. Rob has already followed that up as he has a win last night. He's trying to make it 2 in a row here at the Diamond and Dirt Tracks, as well as 2 in a row overall. Is that enough for you?
I think so. They're side by side right now, father and son duking it out for the spot in front of Mason Beck. All the while, it's still Rodney Schweitzer's race as we are halfway home. Mason Beck getting punted back behind the Whites in the 41 and the 5. Still Psycho Ed Griggs all alone in that 4th position. Jalen Wettengill, the 91J, is going to go ahead and take the long ride back to the pit area as you continue to look at the cars battling for 5th and 6th. The father and son dynamic duo that is Rob and Brian White. The other half of that Gator Graphics race team now trying to make his way up toward the top 5. James McMillan in the 8 was a winner of this race 1 year ago. Right now, he's one of the few cars, Shane, trying to get around the top side of this racetrack that just doesn't seem like it's ever been really hooked up here tonight. Not for the late models, not for the modifieds, and not really for the stock cars.
Well, for the modifieds, they were able to get it stretched out, and Matt Johnson had a 3-second lead. Your battle on the left, that's for the lead. Schweitzer and Dean Willie. They continue to battle back for 4th with father and son, Rob and Brian White.
think they'll probably run one another clean. I don't think they'll lean on one another too much.
Well, you help fix each other's car.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah, Dean Willie, on the other hand, going to slide around the bottom of the racetrack, opens the door for Will Garner now as Rodney Schweitzer falls back a spot. Garner try to get in between the 68 and the 74. You can throw a blanket across the top three cars on the racetrack as Dean Willie leads another lap here. 5 more to go with Willie, trying to keep Will Garner and Rodney Schweitzer at bay. It was Dean Willie finding his way to victory lane here back on May 7th. The 47-year-old from Warrensburg with 1 win and 5 top 10s on the season. And Shane, he looks like he may have them covered right now. That 68 looks as good as I've seen it in a couple of weeks.
Well, where Johnny Scott likes seeing the second, third, and fourth place cars battle it out back behind him for the late models, Dean Willie would love to see Will Garner and Rodney Schweitzer do the exact same thing. There's a little bit of rubbing as Mason Beck gets a friendly love tap from back behind by James McMillan.
With 3 to go, James McMillan just wanted the midseason points champ to know that he was there. Doug Keller on the move as well now as he'll pull that 7 up alongside the 8 of McMillan. They continue to roll down the backstretch now, those 3 cars all in that locked battle. 7th, 8th, and 9th right now on your screen with Waylon Dimmitt and Chad Stouse making it 5 across there as we head back to the front. Dean Willie driving away with this one. Will Garner now, the only man who's going to have a shot at this as the white flag is in the hands of the Wheatland Outlaw, Mike Striegel. Kansas City, Kansas's Rodney Schweitzer fell off the pace. He is all alone back in third. Garner trying to give it a go around the bottom of turn number 2. Pulls up alongside and then a little tap on the side of the 68. Willie able to hold on. Pulls back down to the bottom of the racetrack now. Garner one more try, but no, it's going to be a Gator Graphics win. The second of the season for Dean Willie. A big-time battle for he and Will Gardner. Rodney Schweitzer comes home in third, and you see him slicing and dicing back further in the field. Ed Griggs had been in 4th all night. He stays there. Rob White 5th, Brian White 6th. And there is your race winner, Dean Willie, getting it done tonight in the 68.
A point